We're coming to you live from Denison, Iowa on day 25 of Run Across America for Global Disciples. Here we are in Denison at the Donna Museum with my good friend Roy. Thank you, Roy.
Thank you.
Now, I have to tell you, Roy, Donna Reed's one of my favorite actresses of all time, and she was in one of the all-time favorite movies, It's a Wonderful Life. But you were sharing to me earlier, when that movie first came out, it was a box office flop. Well, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the movie, today we consider it a classic.
Yep.
A couple of years ago, the American Film Society came out with a list of the top 100 inspirational movies, and it was rated #1. Now, my comment after that was, that wasn't bad for a failure.
Not bad at all.
This movie cost about $3.5 million to produce. In the box office, it lost $500,000. So it was a real loser. How did it become a classic? Very simple. Television. The scourge of the movie industry. But they found that they could use film to fill up space in their programming. And a movie like It's a Wonderful Life, which was a failure, was reasonably priced. So they kept showing it, and the more people saw it, the better they liked it.
And the moral to the story, It's a Wonderful Life, that's what really touches me. And Donna Reed must have had some of those family values in her upbringing here in Denison, Iowa. When I think about Jimmy Stewart and her, what a wonderful team they were. Talk a little bit about the people here in Denison.
Donna Reed grew up as a farm girl. She lived on a farm 8 miles south of town, and she did all the farm work, milked the cows and the whole works. And that was the way of life here. You helped out, you did things, and you went to church on Sunday.
Absolutely.
And you lived the church code in your personal life. And that's one of the things that I think helped her along as she left Denison. She had a very upstanding life. She
was a woman of principle.
Yes, she definitely was. And one of the things that we remember more about her is that she really believed in an education. When she went to college, she was offered a contract in the movies. She refused to sign until she finished her education.
Now that's amazing, because I'm a school teacher, and I deal with many kids that have dreams of their own. And sometimes I think they feel that being a Christian or standing up for your core values, that somehow in Hollywood pop culture, that's going to hold you back. But Donna Reed's a great example of, if you have the ability, if you have the talent, they're going to be calling for you and wanting you to be part of their movies and part of who they are.
That is exactly it. In fact, her lifestyle was such that the producer or the director of From Here to Eternity really didn't think she could pull off the part that she had in that movie. The part was a lady of the evening.
Which shows you that there's an old phrase that my dad used to use with me. He says, be a first-rate version of yourself and not a second-rate version of someone else. And by Donna Reed being a person of Christian character, even in Hollywood, she shined.
She definitely did. And she remembered her roots. She came back to Denison quite often. She helped raise money for various causes back here. She helped sell war bonds in the Second World War. I never met her, but when I saw her in town, she'd be walking up and down the street talking to everybody on the way. She was friends with the people in Denison.
That's wonderful. That must be a special quality of the people here in Iowa, because as I've been running across America for Global Disciples, I'm meeting everyday type people like the Donna Reeds, like yourself, that are so warm and welcoming, and it's a special place to be here at the Donna Reed Museum. What were some of her other movies that she was involved in?
Some of the other movies she was in, one of them that has kind of special place in my heart, it was The Far Horizons. In this movie, she played Sacagawea, the Indian maid. She was with Charlton Heston and Fred McMurray in this one, a couple of real heavy hitters.
Absolutely.
Her children got to actually go watch her filming this. And her son said, we got there and was watching, and I felt nervous because there was this Indian woman there who kept staring at us and smiling. He did not recognize his own mother, made up as the Indian maid Sacagawea.
Is that right? And I understand that Donna Reed, being a farm girl as well, her birth name was not Donna Reed.
No, her birth name was Donna Bell Mullinger.
Very German sounding. Is Denison, is this a German community?
It is definitely a German community. Of course, now we have a mixture of all backgrounds, but in the early days, in fact, this building that we are in, the Donna Reed Theater, started out as the Germania Opera House.
Wow.
To replace a wood frame opera house that was about shot.
How about that?
By a group of German businessmen and farmers who raised the money to make this edifice that we're in today.
Now, you shared with me a funny story about Donna Reed. She never forgot her roots and where she came from. That's why she came to Denison back all the time. And she was a farm girl, an all-American farm girl. Her father was a farmer, and she helped out on the farm. And what was pretty special about Donna Reed, she could get her fingers dirty on the farm helping out, or she could be going to an Oscar performance or an award ceremony. And I understand there's a funny story about that, about a gentleman that bet that she didn't know how to milk a cow.
She was in a talk show and explaining her background. She said on the farm she did all the farm work, milk cows and that. And one of the gentlemen said, oh, I don't think you can milk a cow. So they got a couple of cows, had a contest, she won.
And you know what? I hope that's a powerful life lesson for each of us, that we can be who we are and that God loves us. You know, for this run across America, you know, he didn't choose an athlete, a triathlete, a professional guy. He chose a 40-year-old German teacher to do this run across America. You know, here Donna Reed, one of the classiest all-time actresses, he didn't choose someone who was from New York or Hollywood. He chose someone who came from Denison, Iowa, and said, I like her. I'm going to use her. We all have different gifts to give, whether it's running or acting. We all have an ability to make a positive difference. And what I understand too, Donna Reed's contributed to this community. She had a passion.
She did.
And tell us a little bit about why we have the Donna Reed Museum and the Performing Arts Center.
Well, because she wanted the Oscar that she won in From Here to Eternity, to come back to Denison. As the folks were sitting around one evening after they brought the Oscar here, they said, we ought to do something more than just stick the Oscar on a shelf and forget it. We ought to do something to remember and honor the way she lived. And the real thing that I think that young people can get is, you may live in Denison, Iowa. You have a dream of being a movie star. If you really believe in it and you follow your dream, virtually anything is possible.
Everything is possible. That's one of my favorite Bible verses. All things are possible through Christ who strengthens you. And if you have that as a core conviction and use the talents that God gave you, anything is possible. Roy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.